Okay, so let's get right into it. Every great company has a secret weapon, and it's not some fancy tech or a bunch of patents. It's their people. But how exactly do you build a team that wins? Do you treat them like family, nurturing them for the long haul? Or do you build a roster of all-stars, kind of like a pro sports team? Well, that's the big puzzle we're going to unpack today. Get this. This one sentence from Netflix's legendary culture deck just throws the whole traditional idea of company loyalty right out the window. Adequate performance gets a generous severance package. Wow. I mean, it sounds ruthless, right? But it's also incredibly efficient, and it's a huge part of their success story.
So that begs the question, a really fascinating one. How can a strategy that seems so cold, so cutthroat, actually be so effective? How does telling perfectly decent employees, hey, thanks, but we're done here, lead to total market domination? That's the core mystery we are going to solve.
To figure this out, we first have to get one thing straight. Not all teams are playing the same game. The mission of the company completely changes the kind of team you need to build. Think about it this way. Imagine a factory that needs to have zero defects. Their lifeblood is meticulous people who follow the rules to the letter. Now picture a marketing agency that's trying to cook up the next viral sensation. They need the total opposite, right? They need risk takers, creative weirdos, people who think way outside the box. The goal is the same, win, but the playbooks couldn't be more different. So if there's no single best way to build a team, then what's the secret sauce? This is where we get to the really good stuff. Here's the thing. It is not about finding the best culture out there and just copying it. The real magic, the secret, happens when a company's people strategy is perfectly, and I mean perfectly, tailored to its business strategy. It's all about achieving that perfect fit. And there's a name for this powerful idea. It's called strategic alignment. Think of it as the art of engineering your entire people system, from who you hire to how you pay them, to even how you let them go, so that every single piece serves one single purpose, nailing the company's unique mission. So how does this actually work in the real world? Well, leaders tend to use two main blueprints to get this strategic alignment right. Let's switch gears and look at the theory for a second. Think of these as the architectural plans for building a truly world-class team. Okay, first up is the resource-based view, or RBV. This theory basically says you win by having resources that are valuable, rare, inimitable, meaning they can't be copied, and non-substitutable. Just remember, VRIN. Now, what's the ultimate VRIN resource? A unique team and one-of-a-kind culture. With this view, HR isn't just filling jobs, it's literally building a competitive moat around the business that no one else can cross. Blueprint number 2 is strategic human resource management. The big idea here is what's called best fit. Your HR policies should be like a chameleon, right? They have to perfectly adapt to whatever strategic environment you're in. If your strategy is to defend your market, you build a team for loyalty. But if your strategy is to go out and conquer new markets, you hire aggressive explorers. It all depends. All right, theory's great and all, but let's see how this stuff actually plays out in the wild. We're going to look at two absolute giants who took completely opposite roads to build their talent machines. So on one side, you have RBC, the Royal Bank of Canada, a huge institution that's all about stability. And on the other, you've got Netflix, the ultimate disruptor that's all about speed. RBC's strategy is to build their talent from the ground up. Netflix, their strategy is to buy the absolute best talent on the market right now. So what does RBC's build strategy look like? Well, first, they recruit by pouring money into student programs to find raw potential. Second, they upskill. They focus on training their current employees to take on new challenges. And third, they work hard to retain that talent, because that's how you build deep institutional knowledge. It's a classic long game. The only catch? It can be slow, which could leave them vulnerable to competitors who move a whole lot faster. And now, let's look at Netflix. Their whole philosophy is laid out in that famous culture deck. They state very clearly that they are a professional sports team, not a family. And this right here is the critical difference. In a family, you belong no matter what. But on a pro sports team, you have to earn your spot on that roster every single day. It is all about performance. And this gets to the very heart of how they operate. They don't hire junior people and hope to train them up. Nope. They pay top of market to hire fully formed superstars who can solve the massive problems they are facing today. It's all about making an immediate impact. The downside, of course, is that this can create a super high pressure, maybe even a mercenary culture where burnout is a very real risk. So who's right? Which one is the better strategy? The answer is they both are. RBC's build strategy, even though it's slower, creates the trust and institutional memory they absolutely need in the world of finance and regulation. And Netflix's buy strategy, while it's super intense, gives them the speed and constant reinvention they need to win in a creative arms race. Each strategy is perfectly aligned with its goal, and each one accepts the trade-offs that come with it.
Okay, so what's the takeaway here for anyone who's leading a team or trying to build a company? Let's boil all this down into something really clear.
This table really pulls it all together. Take a look. If your main goal as a company is to be the low-cost leader, well, then your recruiting is going to focus on high volume and efficiency, and your culture will be very process-driven. Now look at the bottom row. If your goal is to be different and creative, you're going to be out there headhunting for stars, and your culture has to be all about autonomy and collaboration. You see, in every single case, the business strategy dictates the people strategy. And this is really the bottom line. You can't just copy the cool perks or the culture from a company like Google or Netflix and expect it to work for you. It won't. The best leaders, they're architects. They intentionally design a people system that is custom-built to achieve their specific mission.
So, if you only take one single thing away from all of this, let it be this. Context is king. A people strategy that is absolutely brilliant for one company could be a complete disaster for another. There is just no such thing as a one-size-fits-all solution.
All right, let's wrap things up by looking to the future. Because the world of work is changing faster than ever, and these principles, well, they're about to face their biggest test yet. One really interesting idea that's bubbling up is this concept of just-in-time HR. The idea is, as AI and remote work just take over, companies might stop hiring people for permanent roles and instead start commissioning specialists for specific tasks. The whole idea of a team could become this global cloud of talent you just tap into when you need it. And this leaves us with a huge and frankly fascinating question for the future. I mean, think about it. All these principles of strategic alignment, they're built around having a core team. But how on earth do you build and maintain a unique, winning culture when a huge chunk of your workforce isn't even employed by you? That is the next great human capital puzzle we're all going to have to solve.